40 days of running and walking. Ages 1 to 88 participated in it last year. That means anyone that's willing to put a Remember the Unborn jersey on and walk a 5K or jog a 5K or race a 5K can do it. And this year we had a north-south arms. So we start in Grand Forks, North Dakota and head to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We start in Corpus Christi, Texas and head to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And that adds another 1,500 miles. So now we're up to 5,500 miles, 40 days of Lent. Also kicks off as usual on the Brooklyn Bridge and on the Golden Gate Bridge. And 40 days of running and walking across America with Remember the Unborn on our back. That's awesome.
Let me ask you in terms of, you hit on a really important point, because we're doing a lot, as you know, at EWTN with social media, which is so huge in terms of giving people the opportunity to tweet, to post, to send us short videos on YouTube, on Instagram, all these different things. It's interesting when talking to Jeannie Monahan from the March that because of the activity on social media, it's actually forcing the secular media to pay attention, because we're actually getting the message out, our story out there, and so they're forced to react.
True. And yesterday I emceed the Law of Life Summit. It was our 4th year with the Law of Life Summit. We had 24 speakers in 2 hours, and the Law of Life Summit was that message. It was, how do we take media with our pro-life organizations and even individuals through social media and erode at the law of the land to diminish it, to make it less relevant. And that's kind of the spirit of the March for Life. It is the spirit of the March for Life, this together we are winning spirit, where we all come together and say, listen, the only thing that's missing is more. We can all do a little bit more with social media. Speak up. 82% of post-abortion women said that if just one person would have reached out to them with a life-affirming message, they would have chose life. That's us.
To this story that I got for you, then we got to go back to the studio, but our pastor at the parish where my husband is assigned as a deacon told us just 2 weeks ago that he's working with a woman who had an abortion about 35 years ago, and she said the only reason she's going to him is because he's the first priest that she ever heard talk about the pro-life issue. She had been to confession but still dealing with a lot of issues, but he was speaking up regularly about the pro-life issue and talking about God's mercy and forgiveness.
That's right.
So there you go. We're out of time, but Pat, good to see you. Okay, go ahead, have a cheer.
So here goes. This is the National Life Runners team. So if you're sitting at home, get ready for the cheer. Follow with us. I'm going to say all in Christ, and everyone out there say for pro-life. Here we go. All in Christ.
For pro-life.
All in Christ.
For pro-life.
All in Christ.
For pro-life.
Thanks, Pat. Good to see you again. Back to you, Doug. Can't say much after that. I think they said it all.
You got it. Life runners there, and that's a good way to keep warm, too. This year, not so much of an issue as I remember last year, but I think they were ready to start running right away. There was somebody pointed out before about that interesting message we had on the bottom was either a tweet or a text somebody sent us about more talk about human rights and about pro-life and less about, deflated footballs and things like that. And, of course, that has to do with the questions about the Patriot game. And speaking of Patriots, we're going out to Wyatt Goolsbury, who I think is speaking to one. Wyatt?
Guys, it's not very often that we get to actually talk to a founding father, but I did manage to find George Washington today, so we figured we'd ask him why he came out here. Tell me your real first name, tell me where you're from, and what motivated you to dress up as a founding father.
Well, my real name is James Renwick Manship, but I go by statesmanship, and I am George Washington because of Jeremiah 1:5. Jeremiah 1:5 says, God knew his purpose for you before he formed you in the womb to be a prophet to the nations. And that's why God took extra long time to form an extra long nose on me so I could portray George Washington.
There you go. You have several signs here. You, of course, be a patriot, because why not? When you're dressed as George Washington, you need to be a patriot, vote pro-life sign. But you also have this one that's behind me. Tell me a little bit about this one. This is almost like a,
This is a replica of the first Navy flag, the Liberty Tree flag, also called the Washington Cruiser flag, that flew beginning in September 1775 on the first 7 ships of the American Navy. And notice it's a triangle or a trinity-shaped tree, and the thing is appeal to heaven, not an appeal. Appeal to heaven is a verb, not a noun. So it's a collective command for all Americans to appeal to heaven, to pray to God.
You were telling me something about the important quotes that George Washington said that are very pro-life in its nature. I didn't even realize that he had said some very interesting things. Tell me about one of those quotes that you're telling me.
Well, on the 3rd of July, the day before the birth certificate of our infant nation, the Declaration of Independence, was signed, George Washington, as general in New York, said, the fate of unborn millions will now depend, under God, on the conduct and courage of this army. And behind us today, you see that army continuing today.
And it appears to be a growing army as we've got more people coming
God
right
bless
here.
it is. Thank you. Thank you. And then another one right after being inaugurated president in August of 1789, Washington wrote to the United Baptists of Virginia. And he said, I beg you will consider that no one could be more zealous than I in opposing every form of spiritual tyranny. And there is no tyranny worse spiritually than killing a child in the womb. And so both of those quotes of Washington are applicable to this war for life. It's war for life against death. And
Well, like
so
I said, it's just not even this is some people think about right away, but it's very important. Like you said, it motivates people to come out here, like yourself, even dress as George Washington.
Well, the father of his country has to be out here to protect the unborn, because the unborn are the future of America. And Washington did everything for the future of America, and that's what these people are doing. They're going in the footsteps of Washington.
Okay, very good, excellent. We should mention that he's been dressed as George Washington since 1998, so you do this pretty consistently. There you go. Some people are motivated for the March for Life. Other people really motivated here for the March for Life. We'll send it back to you.
It's a great congregation of patriots. The best time all year for that. God bless you. Thank you.
Very good, Wyatt. Thank you so much, and I apologize for distorting your last name slightly there. And it was great to hear from the father of our country, who's concerned about the unborn children of his country as well. And we got some more images from the march, as you can see, with all the different banners. Father, you had a couple quick ones before we go to Teresa?
We saw the Catholic Gators for Life from Florida, Catholic Campus Ministry, Wayne County, Ohio. I also noticed Tony Melendez is in the group as well.
Yeah, I think we caught a shot of him as we had the camera in the middle of the crowd. And I'm sure, being proud Alabamians, we're sure that Alabama and the University of Auburn must also be there in the crowd someplace. We just haven't picked up their banners yet. If Florida's there, Alabama and Auburn would have to be there, as we all know. Again, we got some wonderful shots right from the middle of the crowd. High shots of all the number of people pouring down Constitution Avenue, and again, snaking its way literally from the original rally site all the way up to the Supreme Court building. And like we said, the front of the march has been at the Supreme Court building for quite a while now. And there are a couple of protesters there, and we wish we could just give you a shot that shows the small group of protesters, the enormity of the pro-lifers, including the West Virginia Teens for Life. I think, do we have Teresa? I wasn't sure whether we had Teresa, if she's got anybody yet to go. She does, and so we're going to go to Teresa.
Hi, Doug. Yes, we are talking to a number of different people, including those who are in the business of teaching our younger people about the faith. And Gerard and I actually spoke a few years ago, and he came up and said hello. And I understand now you're not only teaching, but you're also studying to be a deacon. So tell us why you come to the march, and you've got one of your students with you, Caitlin.
Well, I come to the march just because we need to defend life. There's so many young people, especially the unborn, that don't have a voice, and they need to not only have a voice, but they need to have a presence in the world, and we want to represent that presence. So it's nice to have people like me and then my student here to come and represent their generation, showing that they have a voice.
So what courses do you specifically teach in terms of educating in the faith at your high school? And it's St. John Paul II High School, correct, in this area?
Yes, we're in Dumfries, and I teach something called bioethics, and I also teach religion. Bioethics is we look at this great gift that we have called life, and we show how to live that out so that we can actually fulfill our humanity and find happiness. One of my students here, Caitlin, is a great student, and she demonstrates this wonderfully so they can show how to find their fulfillment and their happiness.
Caitlin, what does it mean for you to be here as a young woman?
I mean, it's an honor to be here. I'm always ready to defend life, no matter what the circumstances are, rain, snow, shine. But I mean, it's a shame that we still have to come out, because we should be ending this, but one day we will, and I'll just keep coming until we do.
It has to be encouraging for you, though, to see so many other young people.
It is, because, you know, they tell you don't make a difference, you don't have a voice because you can't vote yet, but you can, and you do have a voice, and we're showing it today, and we're speaking loud.
In addition to, obviously, your solid education, what else has formed you at this young age in your pro-life opinions?
I mean, my mother had 2 miscarriages, and I come from a family of 6, so I'm strong for family, and family family's the foundation for society, and we're going to keep building it and keep bringing it up.
All right, thank you. And when you run for Congress, call me. I'll do an interview.
Will do.
Okay. Gerard, thanks. Good to see you again. Caitlin, God bless you. Stand up for life. Girl power.
Yeah,
all right.
amen.
No offense. I just had to do. Good to see you again, Gerard. Take care. God bless. It's just great. You have two generations here, two young people, but one a high school teacher. Now he's studying for the diaconate, and a student who's in high school, and so articulate, Doug. You know, I see these young kids, and I think I was so not there when I was in high school. I mean, and I was so clueless to these issues, and it makes such a difference when you see these young people with strong teachers, when you see the young people with their parishes, when you see the young people with families. The environment that these kids are growing up in is forming them to be great pro-life warriors. Back to you.
Thank you, Teresa. That's great. And we just have to go. We did validate. We did see an Auburn banner actually on the street, so it was not photoshopped into the crowd. It was actually there. And that's Teresa Tomeo reporting from the midst of the 42nd Annual March for Life, our coverage from Washington, D.C. I'm Doug Keck here with Father Joseph Mary Wolf, our chaplain. And I think we're going out to Wyatt for another interview. Wyatt.
Hey there, absolutely. Yeah, we're out here still on Constitution. We've moved down to the 3rd Street as we've been talking with different folks, and especially with a lot of different parish groups and church groups. I've been talking with George here. George, tell me where you guys are from.
City, Florida.
What group are you guys with?
St. Dominic.
Okay, very good. Obviously, you guys got the big banner out here. You got Choose to Give Your Baby Life. I like this one. Tell me how long it took to get up here in Florida.
We started by bus and it took us 18 hours to get here.
Okay, very good. So tell me why it's so important that you guys come out here today and be part of the March for Life.
To stop abortion, we're totally against all the murdering of kids, and we just want to end it, put an end to it.
Sure. So George, is this your first time to be out here in particular?
Yes, it is.
So what do you think here, being here in Washington, D.C., walking down Constitution Avenue and seeing all this? What do you think?
It's pretty cool. I want to do it again, definitely.
Absolutely. Cool, guys. And I want you also to make sure, I don't know if we can see it on the camera, we got the other banner over here. A pregnant woman needs support. That's also very important here to send out that kind of a message as well. Like I said, we're continuing to talk with church groups here from across the nation. We'll send it back to you guys now.
So much, Wyatt. And Father, you noticed a couple of other banners while we were listening to that interview.
We have the Diocese of Toledo, Sacred Heart in Manassas, Virginia. I saw New Orleans, the Archdiocese of Hartford.
Right, exactly. And of course we had an interview earlier with the Bishop of Toledo, I believe. Teresa might have interviewed him earlier as well. And so he's here, like he said, he thought with about 1,000 people had come. So it's great. And that's the kind of thing, if your bishop can go and lead like that, you'll get a lot more people probably to go. Let's go back to Teresa.
Yes, and Mike, we're on camera. Can you point this way? Sorry about that. It's very busy out here, Doug, so, live TV, appreciate it. This is Dr. Bryant, who's with this beautiful family, and this little one is just precious. Sorry, I'm Italian, I keep touching children. What can I tell you? Tell me about your family while you're here, Doctor.
We're here to end abortion, and we're here to hopefully get everyone in the whole world to pray to end abortion, because it will take the power of God to end abortion.
What kind of medicine do you do, Doctor?
Chiropractor.
How long have you been involved in the pro-life movement? What does it mean to you as someone who works in the health field to make a difference here?
Every second of every day you appreciate life more and more, especially when you're in the healthcare field. You want to help everybody to have a beautiful, healthy life. And the fact that some healthy babies are killed is just unimaginable.
Is this your first time at the march? You've been here before?
We've been here, this is the 3rd time, and this has been the best weather, and it's been by far the greatest march I've ever seen, ever.
Now, you live in the state of New Jersey, and you're involved in pro-life work there as well, you mean?
Yes, we're involved in pro-life work around the world to try and get the whole world to pray the rosary to end abortion.
All right, well, thanks for stopping by. And you have a beautiful family, and this is little Maria, and this is your beautiful wife, Esmeralda, right?
Thank you.
Now, I know you have some other children here. Unfortunately, we couldn't get them. Did you have your whole family?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, great. All girls?
All girls.
God love you. He does, that's right. I came of a family of all girls, that's why I say that. So you're going to be fine, don't worry about it. And you are just adorable. Thank you for standing up for life. And you look very, very, very pretty too. You're beautiful. Thank you. Thanks. God bless you guys. Thanks for coming by. Beautiful young family from the state of New Jersey. Back to you, Doug.
Thank you, Teresa. You're covering both bases there. We got Jersey and Michigan, two most pro-life states based on our coverage, definitely, we have to say. Father, did you note a couple other ones while we were
I saw the Diocese of Venice of Florida, the Diocese of Fort Worth, as well as Holy Apostles Seminary, St. Benedict Church, and University Catholic.
Right, and our good friend Rhonda Chervin, I think, she may still be up at Holy Apostles now. And I remember Father Brian Mullady used to work there. We also see, we got to make sure the Seminoles know that they're there, the Catholic Student Union from Florida State University, Northeastern University is there, Rutgers, speaking of New Jersey, their Catholic Student Union's there as well. So there's a couple of others, and we're going to check in now with our social media team to see what's up.
Okay, Doug, I've got a post here for anybody that's actually thinking that maybe an abortion is a possibility. It's from a man, Tim Baldwin. He says, I don't think anybody really knows their stance on abortion until they are forced to make a tough decision. We found out at week 20 during pregnancy that my daughter had spinal bifida, which of course would have left her in a wheelchair. The first thing the doctor said to us was, there's still time to abort the pregnancy. I will not lie and say we did not consider abortion. On the way home from the doctor's office, a thought came to me regarding my 8-month-old son. If he were to have an accident and end up in a wheelchair, would we kill him? I asked my wife that question, and it was at that moment we realized how precious a life is. We chose life. And although it has been a struggle at times, we have no regrets. Our daughter is a gift from God.
And this is a post from Carrie Eves, who writes, my daughter has autism, which has brought me some of the most difficult days to my family. Sweet Caroline has also provided us with joy, laughter, and precious special moments that we cherish. She blesses my husband and my son and I daily. She is one of the best gifts that God has given me. Back to you, Doc.
Thank you so much, Sweet Caroline. Great song from the past there. We're going out now to Wyatt, who's got another interview for us.
This first group.
And I think we're going to be with Wyatt.
I'll tell you, Doug, a lot of the groups out here, a lot of the pro-life groups are just happy to be here in Washington, D.C. this year, especially thanks to last year's snowstorm, which had made it difficult to travel for a lot of people. And so we've talked with several different parish groups that have traveled here to Washington, D.C. I was talking with Ed here. Ed, tell me what group you guys are with.
We're with Our Lady of Victory Church in Florida Park in Long Island. And we have several different churches. We got a Holy Spirit, St. Gregory's, and naturally Our Lady of Victory. And we came down here to support the right to life. I think everybody has the right to it.
Absolutely, and like I said, you guys have had representation here from your parishes for years. Tell me this. You were telling me this is your 14th year. Tell me your name again.
Anita Benasso, and I'm from New Hyde Park, and I belong to Holy Spirit Parish.
How thankful are you guys to be able to make it here this year, especially after last year?
Very thankful, because the last year we had to miss. It was all canceled. But I always said, as long as God gives me the strength in my legs, I will march to Roe versus Wade gets overturned. And that's when the marching will stop. Until then, we will keep on marching.
And you guys, of course, have your banners out here, Stop Abortion Now. This is obviously very important.
John is our leader. He follows it. Yeah, he is. He doesn't like to take credit.
The banner does get a lot of comments. People are touched by the banner. And I think the sign says it all. It's not us against them. We're all in this together. We're not here to say people who like abortion are bad or they're evil. We're just saying that right to life is the best thing, is good for people. We're trying to convince our brothers and sisters that it's good to let these children come to life, to be born. That's the important thing. It's not us against them. It sounds like sometimes like a college argument going on here. This cheering, that cheering. It's not us against them. We're all in this together. You know, they're our brothers and sisters too. We have to love them as much. We're not here to say you're bad or evil. We're here to say that life is right, life is holy, life is good. And we try to.
Obviously, that's so important. That's what brings so many people here, like you guys, and from people all across the nation, to stand up for this particular issue. Great, excellent. So, like I said, like I said, we appreciate that shout out as well. Like I said, guys, we're continuing to follow and find unique signs like this as well, important signs and things that are certainly unifying all sorts of different parishes here. We'll toss it back to you.
Very good, Wyatt. Thank you so much. Again, Wyatt Goolsby from EWTN News Nightly. He'll be on tonight, obviously, as part of the coverage, and then Raymond Arroyo will have his world over. As you can see here, a shot from the Supreme Court itself. That's where the Silent No More usually has their event, and you can see the banner from the front and the marches there. We understand there's a few protesters here and there, but we're talking about a small group compared to the hundreds of thousands of pro-lifers that have made their way up Constitution Avenue. Not only made their way, continue to make their way, but as you can see, as promised, images of the Supreme Court building where actually everything's ending. Let's go back now, if we can, and participate with the march itself, as we've got some images as they continue to march up Constitution Avenue. As you can see, the Respect Life and the Diocese of Toledo must have multiple banners, I guess, because the bishop said there was going to be about 1,000 of them here. So some great shots for us to look at. And Teresa has someone else for us to talk to. Teresa.
Yes, we do. We are right now scanning the crowd of a group from West Virginia, the teens who are gathered here with their leaders. Quite a large group, as you can see, from West Virginia Teens for Life. And I have Bob Perrin, who actually is directing this group. Tell us about your organization.
Hey, we're just so glad to be here. We have about 300 young people from across the state of West Virginia here to support life, and they're a loud group, as you can tell. One of our other main leaders is Deacon Dave. Deacon Dave is from one of the largest parishes in our diocese and helps support the whole group. We're just blessed to be here. You know, this is what's going to make a difference. You know, maybe not this year, but we continue to come and make this big of a presence with the young church so alive and excited.
We were talking before we went on the air that you think there's more young people here than you've seen before. I mean, there's always a lot of young people, but you're seeing it even growing further.
Oh, I absolutely do. You know, the Archdiocese of Washington does huge mass and rallies. They do that with at the Verizon Center in the Armory, but now Arlington and several other dioceses are gathering young people by the tens of thousands. And you just see everywhere you look around, the average age is college student or below. I mean, it's really awesome to see.
How do you carry this back out into the parish life? Obviously, this is a mountaintop experience for these young people to be together, and you know, it's exciting, it's moving. How do you then take this home for the daily practice of pro-life in their lives?
I think for a lot of our parishes, they take a lot of time after this processing human dignity as a whole, and what the church teaches about human dignity and relativism, and how we live in a culture who doesn't think anything's right or wrong, and we really focused on that. Our group of 200 and some met last night at St. James Parish and did a little mini rally to kind of prepare them before.
How many times have you been coming here?
This is my 6th time. Deacon Dave, how many times have you been here?
About 20 times now. And so really, when all these people here were babies, we started coming, and lots of them came in strollers, and we just keep coming because, you know, we so strongly believe in life, and we're blessed to have our children, like little Lucy here and others, who just love the gift of life.
Great. Well, congratulations on the diaconate. My husband is a deacon, and he's very involved in Deacons for Life, and is also a sidewalk counselor at the abortion mills in Detroit. So appreciate the deacons seeking up for life. It's very important. And who's pro-life? Did I hear?